Fog Racing back again with another grand tour. If your favourite trio is back on our screens, we've got James May in the Mitsubishi Evo. We've got Richard Hammond in the blue. It's basically the car he had in Africa, but it's not the estate fair in the Subaru. And then we've got the big man, Jeremy Clarkson. He is in an RD RS4 B7, and we are doing a Scandi flick here. Apparently, this was the first show they did post-COVID, but I believe they did that one in Scotland, like where they were in Edinburgh, a lot more recent to the pandemic rather than this was the first one. So maybe I'm a wee bit confused, but we kick off in the third highest football pitch in the world. The three of them then arrive at like some submarine base, and it feels like in every specialty day now they end up in like a Cold War bunker. But essentially what they're doing is who can achieve the highest speed in these like disused tunnels. Clarkson goes first. He achieves 78 miles an hour. Then James May goes in the Evo. But the intriguing thing about this is the fact that you actually couldn't see the end of the tunnel because the lights weren't actually coming up quick enough. And when James May went, I'm sitting here thinking, what's he going to do here? And then probably one of the most, I'd honestly go as far as say one of the most iconic moments in this, like, between this trio across Top Gear and Grand Tour, because he absolutely went for it here. But James May absolutely sends this here, and I wonder what the impact speed was. It must have been at least 20, 30 mile an hour, man. It must have been. And Clarkson was genuinely surprised. The whiplash that James May gets here is absolutely insane. He ends up in the hospital for like a day or two, and the Evo is completely wrecked. So he's basically at the challenge for like a few days, pal. And then he actually manages to sort it out, but the bumper is always missing. We do see some funny scenes here where the Dutch appear to be at war with the Norwegians, which was kind of funny. But Richard and Jeremy managed to make their way across into the, I believe they go to Sweden, then Finland, isn't it, I believe? So yeah, they make it through Sweden. Some funny challenges away. There's a racetrack. It's basically just made out of pure ice, but it always made me think like, risking it for a biscuit, sitting here on these racetracks that are literally on frozen ice, frozen lakes. I mean, I think you personally are, but James May, he manages to return here with Mitsubishi Evo. Also though, throughout the show, that you've got like Hammond and Clarkson pranking each other, which I thought was funny. He throws his keys into the ice, it melts, and he pisses on them. Clarkson, Hammond's keys, and then Hammond ices his whole car. And they keep on camping in these like public scenarios, and they're like, "Oh, we're not in the wilderness." But I think the funniest scene is when they actually camp on the ski slope with like their shelter, so to speak. So those two have got sheds, but James May's got a bus stop, damn it. And then this bit's actually really insane. So he pushes Hammond down the ski slope. Now I doubt Hammond was actually in the shed, of course, guys, these shows are a wee bit scripted. So I doubt Hammond was actually inside the shed, but it made for fucking great entertainment, man, you cannot lie. Then there's a scene where Hammond's trying to get up the ski lift and he just can't operate it. He's trying to do it with like a snowplow sort of thing. But I don't understand what was making it so difficult for him. I mean, it was pretty funny. But then eventually they have to do a race. Well, it's not such a race, but in Finland, it's mad how you can get fined for speed. And they basically fine you like a quarter of your salary, which is an insane amount. So they're going on this race across Finland, so they're not using the roads here, they're using a frozen lake, and literally as soon as they get started, James crashes into the frozen lake. But it's weird, it's not that deep. He thought initially when he went through that it was going to like properly sink, but he managed to get on top of it and he's alright. But an insane moment, because realistically he could have very easily have died here. They managed to get him out here, and then have a race to the plane. Turns out the plane, it's just a prop, and that the actual plane was waiting for them, but these three got on a private jet and were getting lit, and we kind of get like a hangover sort of ending, guys. But you know what? With these three, they just never disappoint. It's always great banter, and you cannot complain about it, guys. But anyway, that is it for a Grand Tour, a Scampi flick, and I'm going to give it a big 7.5 out of 10. So that's it here for Fog Racing.